Yes, you are. Come on in, Holy Spirit. You are welcome. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. You are welcome in this place. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Yes, you are. Consuming fire, sweet perfume, awesome presence. Come fill this room. Consuming fire, sweet perfume, awesome presence. Come fill this room. Oh, Holy Spirit, we need your presence. Come on in here, God. Oh, Holy Spirit. Yes, God. Oh, yes. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. You're welcome in this place. Move amongst us, God. We need you. Yes, God. Consuming fire. Oh, sweet perfume. Your awesome presence. Come fill this room. Yeah. Sweet perfume. Your awesome presence.
Hi, my name is Pastor Otis Petteway at the Victory Community Church, and I'm here to welcome you to our online virtual campus. I want you to take advantage of everything that we have available for you. You can join in. You can go to our website. On our website, you can learn about the ministry. You can get to know me and First Lady. You can get to know the different parts of our ministry, things that we're offering. This is your first time joining with us. Don't hesitate to go to our first time guest page, and you can fill out information and keep in touch with everything that we have going on. On there, you can see our new app. You can see our text to give, our different services that we offer throughout the week. I just want to take time out of our schedule and out of your busy schedule to thank you for joining with us. And also, I wanted to thank you for allowing us to be a part of what you're doing in your everyday life. And I hope that while you're here, something is said, something is done that will bless you and help you continue to go along your journey. Love you.
Thank you for joining Victory News Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we go live with a new sermon. You can give via text by texting GIVE to 832-400-9544. Download our new app. All you have to do is go to your app store, type in Church by Ministry 1, type in Victory Community Church, and create an account and enjoy. Please join us for Tune Up Tuesday Bible Study on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. through Facebook Live and YouTube. Join us online with Pastor Petteway at 10 p.m. every Sunday through Facebook Live and YouTube. Weekly prayer call every Wednesday at 7 p.m. through Zoom. Thank you for joining us for Victory News Network, VNN.
You
afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for our Tune Up Tuesday Bible study. I am excited to be here with you today. I know that we have had a little technical issues, but we're here. We're asking you to continue to share and comment. We're right there with you in the comments. We can see what you are commenting about, and we're going to continue our lesson from last week about spiritual warfare questions. And we had a great time on last week discussing what questions you all had and what you all felt was that you wanted answered. And I'm glad to be able to be here and to assist in any way possible. But I'm just want to communicate that we are, as Avery Sunshine said it so poetically, we're just here to realize that we're safe in his arms. Last week, we kicked it off the series by talking about prayer and what prayer is and what it means to the believer and how the believer is designed to fight in this fight of faith when it comes to working and stressing and pulling this thing together. And last week, God fell right in the midst of our lesson because he showed us that as sheep, as people that come together to lift up his name, our only job is to make a little noise, to call out to God when we are in need the most. So we had some questions that were submitted, and we're going to kick them back off, and then we're going to wrap up tonight. That's what we're going to do all night tonight, is answer your questions as they are submitted through the chat, and we will ease on down the road. Again, thank you so much for being here. If you have questions, feel free to inbox the ministry at Victory Community Church on Facebook, or you can put it right there in the chat, and we will answer as many questions as we can get to tonight. Champions, thank you all for joining us everywhere you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Question number 3. Here we go. Question number 3 is, can the devil use a spiritual person to attack someone else? Can the devil use a spiritual person to attack someone else? Yes. Understanding this, that we are all spiritual beings. We are made up of mind, body, and soul. And you can be saved and still be used of the enemy. You can be a deterrent from someone. You can be a stumbling block for someone. Understanding this, that the clearest definition of what sin is, it is literally missing the mark. It's that you have aimed at the mark, but you did not hit the mark. And that's sometimes that your missing the mark can be someone else's attack. You are you're becoming, as I call it, being so right that you become wrong. I know some people that they are totally locked into this mindset and views and belief system when it comes to how they do stuff and when they do stuff, and they are what I call always right. They are always the people that know exactly what to do. But then the problem is that they become so right, they beat up the people that don't even that's still getting it together. You are so busy trying to act as if you got it together, you end up beating up those that are trying to get it together. And the problem with that is that you end up deterring them from getting it together. And that is the attack that people have, the people are under. Some people's attack literally come from people that are trying to get it together. But you mess up, you slip up. And when we call it mess up and slip up, the truth of the matter is it's sin. Your slip-ups are sin. And what you do is when you sin with other people at any level for any reason, it becomes an attack upon their life, because just because it's easy for you to get in and get out of does not always mean that it's easy for everybody. So that's a great question. Can the devil use a spiritual person to attack someone else? Yes. Because the enemy comes in and he is the head of this. He's the king of this. He's the ruler of this realm in which we physically live in. So he uses the things that are here to attack spiritual people. And that's what we do. We come in and understand this, that they're not only spiritually attack them, you physically attack people. That there have been wars fought over what they believed in the Bible as what was supposed to have been done. There's a whole list of wars that were fought over how baptism was supposed to have been done. So understand that that's when I say under spiritual attack, some attacks that you are under are not about just your everyday life. Some attacks are so subtle, it's like you've been cut, but it's not by a steak knife. It's been by a razor. And if you ever got cut by a razor, it's so smooth, you don't even realize you cut. And because the blade is so straight, you don't even start bleeding immediately. It takes time. And that's how sin is. When you originally do it, it looks fine. It takes a little while for the blood to start flowing. It takes a while for the aftermath of that to show up in your life. And that's sometimes the problem that people face and deal with. Another question, anybody else? I hope that answered. If it didn't answer the question, please comment. I would love to make sure I communicated that very clearly. But yes, the devil uses spiritual people all the time, every day. Number 4, what is the role of prayer in spiritual warfare? It is a key role. It is as important as waking up in the morning. Prayer is the epitome of a special instrument. It is your weapon. I said it last week. I'll reiterate it very quickly, but try to be as clear and concise as possible. That because we are sheep, we are not designed with fighting utensils. We are not necessarily set up to fight the enemy, which is why we have, that's why we have the things that we have that we go back and forth with when it comes to our role, the role of prayer, because it is the only thing that we can do. Psalms 34 and 1 says that I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Why is his praise in my mouth? Because my hands won't do anything to attack the enemy. Prayer, that's it. That's it. Prayer is my weapon. Prayer is the thing that I use. It's effective to fight the enemy, to make you become a special person, a special place in God. Because when you fight the enemy with your prayer, you're getting in line. And the way that I view prayer is not through just meditation. It is through communication. It is to be, it's my weapon, but not a weapon as if a gun. It is a weapon like a phone. It does not, my prayer life does not attack the enemy. Understand this. My prayer life does not attack the enemy. What my prayer life does is it gets the backup that I'm looking for on the phone. So when the backup I'm looking for gets on the phone, which is God, the old saint said it like this: Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. So what my prayer does is it gets me in communication with God, who can then come in and attack the enemy on my behalf. That's why it is my weapon. It's not about beating the enemy. It's literally about getting the enemy to see that I got backup coming. And you cannot mess with me without getting my backup in the room. Because when you call on the name of the Lord, there's something that changes. And he has been so good to us. You see, we don't say that just out of religious rhetoric. I say that because it's out of my reality that I've lived. The more I call him, the better I feel. It's not just religious rhetoric. It is literally me saying, the more I call on God, the better I feel, because every time I call him, he moves. And you don't appreciate that until you've had some stuff and some situations that did not change when you had somebody else come in. That you might whoop me, but I'm calling somebody that can handle you. Come here, devil. You might beat me up, but I know somebody that can handle you. Yeah. See, it takes me out of the spotlight and put the people that need to be in the spotlight, because they see what I cannot see. They fight what I cannot fight. The enemy comes in like a flood, but God lifts up a standard. Watch this. The enemy came in, I prayed, and the standard was lifted. See, we want the standard lifted so we don't have to see the enemy coming in. But you don't appreciate the standard that was lifted if you never saw the enemy that was bumping up against it. That's our role. The role of prayer is to call my backup and get reinforcements on the way. Because I know that when I'm in the middle of some stuff, when I'm moving, when I'm shaking, when I got stuff going on, I'm moving left and right, and it seems like stuff is just not coming together. What do? I call my backup. Because I can't handle this by myself. And the problem is, some of us have a problem with how we, that calling on God shows the lack of ability of you to handle it. And because you have a high expectation and view of yourself, you end up with this messed up philosophy and you end up missing it. Your next question. I can't see it. What was the, how do you get another person to understand they are under attack? How do you get another person to understand that they're under attack? How do you determine under attack? Because sometimes let me try to be as technical as possible, technically correct as possible. Some people aren't under attack, they're under influence. And some people aren't under influence, some people are possessed. That there's a three place. That attack means that you are fighting for one side and fighting against that side to get what you're desiring to get done. Under the influence means that you're doing your thing, but it's a part of what you got going on. And then the third one is you are possessed. It has taken hold of you. It has controlled in that area in which you are dealing with. I would argue people under attack don't need to know that they under attack, because when you hit them, they know they've been hit. When they going through, life and the enemy keeps busting them in the head, you know that that's the enemy that's coming against you because you signed up to be with somebody else. Under the influence is that middle area where you're trying to get right, but you don't necessarily know if what you're trying to do and what they're doing is lining up with each other. Then the third one is that they are possessed, which means that which has desire for them has taken hold of them. So the only thing that you really can do, no matter what of the three that they're in, is use your weapon. Because talking to a possessed person, you're talking to that which has already lost control. So then what you do is acknowledge that I cannot control that thing that's in you. So what I have to do is talk to my backup that can handle that and you. Watch this. I'm still in Psalms 34:19. It says it very clearly that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. What does that mean? It means that no matter what you're going through, God can deliver you. See, we get all of this stuff, and then when you run into another battle, you feel like God can't handle that which you are fighting. But the truth of the matter is that there is no mountain God won't climb. There is no valley that he's scared to go into. There is no secret what my God can do. And we say this stuff, but you don't appreciate and understand what you're dealing with and what you're going through, because you keep thinking that it's about you. You keep thinking that this is about you, and you're going to bring them out of it, and you're going to develop this mindset and mode for them to be able to move through life and through the next phases of life to be better in. But the truth of the matter is that most of us end up frustrated because we are trying to do stuff that we were never designed to do. So to answer your question, how do I get another person to understand they're under attack? It's maybe you just need to pray and pray that God opens their eyes. Watch this. I preached this text the other week. When the prophet told the servant, he says, who told you I was alone? He said, there is more with us than more with them. And what the prophet did, he didn't attack his lack of self. He didn't attack his lack of prayer. He didn't attack his lack of vision. What he did was he prayed that his eyes would be open. And that's really what you should do. You should pray that their eyes are open. And when their eyes are open, God will show them. You don't have to show them. You don't have to make people acknowledge they're under attack. It's right when you show them that their eyes need to be open is the time that everything changes. That's the time that everything shifts in their lives. That's the time that everything moves into a new direction. Why? Because you cannot have a shift to be better, a mindset, a mode to go into the next level, to be where you desire to be, and for them to be with you. If they're under attack, they have to understand that they can't have what you have. So your two positions are pray and walk the life in which you are trying to get them to ascribe to. Because there's two things that attract them. One, opening their eyes, and two, seeing the power displayed in your life. Because if they see the power displayed in your life, I promise you they'll want it in their own. Next question. You're welcome. I'm here. This is what I'm here for. I want us to be able to communicate very clearly, because I think that spiritual warfare is one of the most impactful things that we can do in our life. It's one of the most curious things that we can deal with. It's one of the most impressionable things that we have in our life, that we struggle with. We're trying to develop a solution for biblical issues that have life application and consequences. How do you deal with life when you don't know what to do? How do you deal with someone? This is what I call this the lifeguard rule. How do you deal with someone sinking that still hadn't realized that they're about to drown? Lifeguards, they let them use their own energy until they've used it up. I believe that God does sometimes. He lets you flail around until you realize that you can't make it anymore. Next question. Do believers have guardian angels? Yeah. The Bible says that there are angels walking among us that we're unaware, that they are people that operate in your life as angels. There are things that you that are heaven sent for, that whisper in your ear. I know I grew up on the cartoons with on two sides was the good and the bad, and they both whisper in your ear. But I really do believe that there has to be an angel watching over me, because if it wasn't, I'd have went crazy by now. I believe that God can cover and guide and keep, but I believe that if my God is as much God as I believe he is, every now and then Michael has had to show up to fight on my behalf. there's a messenger that has come down for me where I've clearly gotten word from God of what he wanted me to do. I believe that there's an angel watching over all of us. I believe that late in the midnight hour I felt that one, that late in the midnight hour that there's somebody that there was an angel that stopped the thief from coming to your door. I think that there was I think that sometimes you're guarded because that there was a drunk driver on the road, and sometimes in your life, and you didn't even have the awareness to know that there was a drunk driver headed in your direction, and the angel steered his car just enough to keep it from tearing into you. I'll never forget. I was going to I was leaving my grandparents' house with one of my cousins in the car. It was late at night, and I shall not give any details because I don't want nobody to know which one I'm talking about. But we wasn't supposed to be in the car. We were supposed to be in at grandma's house, and on our way out, there was a drunk truck driver in the front of us, and he passed us up. Remember it like it was yesterday, and weaved to the left and weaved to the right, and then his truck flipped over, and we got out, helped him out of the truck, and we called. The police came up, and we left and did all of that, and young and dumb, not realizing what was going on. But the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, I know that it had to be an angel watching over us because of all of the places in all of the world that this man would change lanes at the specific time in which he did, speed up the way that he did, and then get into an accident. Why didn't he tear into the back of us? Why didn't he hit us on the side and wreck our car? Why did he have to flip over his car and not flip over our car? I believe that an angel guided him around us. And I believe with all of my heart and soul that every now and then that angel that's watching over us every now and then slips from eternity into time and touches a situation to say, no, you can't take them just yet. And I think that every now and then, if you stop and inspect your life and inspect the people that are in your life and that you're dealing with and going through, and I think that every now and then, that is what I call shoutable moments, that you ought to have some moments that you can do like the spray does with your clothes. You ought to shout some stuff out because every now and then, you got some stuff that ought to make you want to shout, just not because of what happened, but you ought to shout because some stuff that the guardian angel didn't let come your way. I'm trying to hold myself because I went there last week. I'm trying to show y'all I can be a teacher and a preacher. But I feel it all in my bones that there's some stuff you ought to just start shouting about just because he's been good to you. You ought to just shout. You know, your bank account ain't got as much money in it as you want it to, but I just shout that ain't no $35 NSF fees yet. It's not what I think it should have been, but God, you didn't let me die dumb. I just want to thank you. I just need 2 or 3 people that'll shout because just on the simple fact that you didn't let the enemy win and claim my body before I got into some stuff. You didn't let the enemy come in and claim this physical dirt before I got back in right relationship. I'm shouting that the old folks said it like this. You let my moments roll on a little while longer. See, that's what I shout about my guardian angel because I shout because I know somebody, there's an angel watching over me. I'm shouting not because, see, that's what the spiritual warfare stuff is about. Because there's an angel watching over me. And watch this, when I get in the mode to pray, the angel grabs my groans from my spirit and takes them up and puts them through Jesus because I'm praying in his name, but sending it to the Father. And my backup shows up. Whew, I feel it. See, some people only shout about the stuff you made it through. I shout about some of the stuff I done been around. No, I didn't die from depression, but I lived through it. You took me around it. I didn't die from being stressed out and having people talking about me, but you took me through it. See, I'm shouting because my angel was close enough to me to pop me in the head whenever I got crazy and dumb. You can be sad, but don't be that sad. You can be depressed, but don't be that depressed. You can be hurt, but don't be that hurt. See, I don't understand why we don't understand that you've been covered. The Bible says that he will keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on him. That means that it's an angel that comes around, that when you got a reason to get your mind off of him, he comes in and says, just let him roll on a little. See, oh man, your angel is like the ref in basketball. When somebody feel like they fouled you, and he just let you play it out. Your angel just come in and just let them play it out. Let them keep going. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something through this. You're gonna push through this. You go see. Your guardian angel will keep you in COVID. Y'all don't want to talk to me. See, you might have even got COVID. You might have been struggling with COVID. Somebody watching me felt like you shouldn't have had to go through that because you've been in church, you've been dealing with church, you did all of this church stuff, and you shouldn't have had to deal with that kind of sickness. And watch this, your guardian angel bargained on your behalf. He said that, the Bible says that there's a man making intercession for you between the enemy and God, that Jesus, the man Christ Jesus is making intercession for you, which means what? That you thought you shouldn't have had to go through it. But watch this. What you went through wasn't even what the devil was trying to get for you. It was the vaccinated version of what, because with the mediator standing between you, you get the vaccinated version, which is what? It might hurt while you got it. Woof. But it didn't take you out. See, somebody needs to shout, not on the fact that see, you don't have to feel like you won. Y'all don't want to talk to me. See, I'm sick of people trying to always win. You don't have to always win to get victory. No, that's man-made. I got victory because of the cross. This stuff that I'm fighting with I'm celebrating because he's kept me in the middle of what would have normally taken me out. I'm shouting, watch this, because I need 2 or 3 people that'll shout with me in the middle of a Tuesday night, in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of people talking about we going back to normalcy, and you still scared because you still in March. I need 2 or 3 people that'll shout with me. Watch this, that he can allow you to get sick from something and get healed from that same thing in which you got sick from, that you've seen other people die from. Yeah, you don't see, you want to shout that he can keep it from you. But I'm shouting because I realize that sometimes the only victory I can claim in some issues is the fact that I'm still here. Let's go to our next question, because we're talking about guardian angels. And my guardian angel has kept me. He's kept me. I'm trying to do right. Okay. My mom and I had babies early in life. Is this a generational curse? Okay. Yes and no. Yes. Early birth in families can be generational. It's not. It's understanding that demons. Even in the text, Sunday, the demons asked God to ask Jesus, don't send us out of this region. Watch this, because most demonic influences are regional, that they're in an area. Like you find people that get sick of certain stuff in a certain area. They're called cluster groups. That's what it is. That's what I was looking for. But that's how demonic influences work, that you find certain families that they always are prone to certain spirits because it has been in the family before. Having babies early, flowing from generation to generation. But that I would say is a generational curse. But let me show you how an easy way to deal with that generational curse. It's not in not having the baby. That's not it. Because we think that because you had the baby later, you've broken the curse. That doesn't mean it. It literally means understanding the consequences of your actions. Because sometimes not understanding the consequences of said actions make you make bad decisions. Because people that make certain bad decisions have to live with said decisions. Generational curses is something that it makes you susceptible to the issue, but it doesn't trap you in the issue. It's like what they ask you when you go to the doctor: has anyone in your family had diabetes? Doesn't mean that you'll have diabetes. It means that there's a strong chance that your DNA, your culture, your biological clock is set up to be able to work and is more susceptible to get diabetes. But watch this. Is the issue the diabetes? Or is it bad eating habits, bad maintenance of your body that catches up with you over time that seems to be biological, but it's really taught? And some generational curses are taught habits that are passed down generation. Because it wasn't that you had babies early that was the problem. It was that your grandmama told your mama that men wasn't no good. So you grew up hearing grandma tell mama that, and then mama started telling you, keep away from them little boys because ain't none of them no good, instead of just saying mama had bad taste. Ooh, y'all don't want to talk to me. Cause see, I can go there. I got 15 more minutes. I'm probably only gonna take 10. That you can't say all men are dogs unless you've tried all of them. And I don't know if it's that all men are dogs or you wearing the dog catcher uniform. Means that you out looking for dog. See, the struggle that some of us fight is that we don't understand what we've called a curse is really learned behavior passed down generation to generation. And the problem is not the production of that which we call the curse. We end up calling the cursed. What we call cursed is normally the symptoms, not the root of the problem. The curse wasn't a baby. The curse was nobody was watching you for 2 days and nobody knew where you were nor cared what you were doing. And they called it trust, but there was really a lack of care. And you only had the baby so somebody could tell you they loved you, and you were sleeping with somebody so they could stay with you for 2 minutes after they finished doing they do, so you can tell them what's really going on in your life. And that's the generational curse. But we focus on the product of the curse. We focus on the child that was made and how we got to shun you now. But nobody wants to shun the parent that doesn't have time to spend with you. So now you have a whole list of issues that's going on with you that you finna pass down to the next person because you finna put a child in a place that they were never designed to be in. And instead of getting you right, we're passing it down generation to generation. Your mama was negative. Your grandmama was negative, so your mama negative. And then you because your mama negative, you negative. And now you talking to your kids and making them negative. And then you keep saying you don't know why all of this stuff is in your family. But it started at the root. and you kept telling them that that's just them. So then it became you, because it's only so long you can stay in filth before you become a swine. Mm-hmm. Man, I told a guy this other day. I told him, can I give y'all a little peek into a conversation I had with a guy? Guy called me and asked me for some advice about some stuff, and he was getting attacked, and I was trying to tell him. I said, hey, can I give you some help? I said, the person you're dealing with is a filthy pig. The person you're dealing with is a filthy pig. But let me give you some help. You're not a pig. If you start throwing dirt, only one of y'all gonna feel comfortable. That's how you break the curse. Become uncomfortable. I'm gonna tell you what my therapist told me. You don't realize how crazy you are till you're not crazy no more. And once you create the number one thing, and I'm going too deep into this, the number one thing that will help you break generational curses is to put up healthy boundaries. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it, and I don't care if nobody get mad at me, y'all. I love y'all. I hope I see y'all back tomorrow at noon, but I'm gonna say it because it's on my spirit. Healthy boundaries will expose a demon faster than prayer. Healthy boundaries will expose a demon faster than prayer. You tell a demon that they can't talk to you a certain way, and if they gonna keep talking to you like that, you gonna put a boundary up between y'all two? Shh. Yeah, that's exposure now. You've been praying for a month for God to show you if that's who that is. One conversation about that demon, and all of a sudden you healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries will see you change. We'll see people shift in your life. We'll see people move and do areas of your life. Create boundaries, and that will stop generational curses. Quit expecting people to be something they're not. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as good as possible, but put up a boundary. I had a friend of mine tell me one time, you can't call at a certain time. Why? Because these ain't friend times. Friends don't call. Boundaries. All right, let's go with the last question for the night. Then we're gonna go. Last question for the night. When everybody in the family is divorced, what is the cause for that? Generational cursing, lack of exposure, lack of proper teaching, lack of clear throughout the family, a lack of clear expectations from marriage. One of the biggest things that can cause widespread divorce in families is the lack of seeing a healthy marriage. See, we I'm from a generation, and maybe it's just the part of the generation or the sect that I'm in, the group that I'm in. But I'm from a generation that they said the best way to stay married is not get divorced. Wasn't to fix your marriage, wasn't to be happy in your marriage. Just don't get divorced. So you grow up and you see two groups of people. You see this unhealthy marriage that has dominated 90% of your life of what you've seen, and then you see these divorced people, and they are not as happy, but happier. So you don't really see any happy people besides the people that are lying in marriage, that have unhealthy marriages, and they seem happy, but it's because they are fulfilling marriage in a way that's uncommon and unhealthy. So when everybody in the family is divorced, what is the cause for that? It's mainly because you have a group of people in the family that didn't have a good definition of what marriage was. That they never saw to death do you part. And the people they saw say to death do you part, they said, I'm not going to be that. So instead of knowing what marriage was, you grow up knowing what marriage isn't. So, you pervert it. You use it in the way that it's not designed for. So you get married to have children, not to be happy and whole, which creates the whole dilemma and problem of divorce, because you can only pervert something for so long before it breaks. You can only use it inappropriately for so long because it was not designed for that. And then when you finally get somebody that's actually makes you happy, you learn that there's more to it than what you're dealing with. There's more to it than what you were expecting. There's more to it than what you thought about that which you have perverted. And then you feel as if you cheated yourself because you could have had this the first time. But the problem is because once you get married and get divorced and get married again, you don't go back and teach the people that you hurt along the way that you never saw it. Which is why one of the steps, I believe, of AA is making an amends, going back and apologizing to people that you hurt along the way, because you can end up causing a generational curse in another family because you wasn't ready and it had nothing to do with them. You just got. I said this last night in our marriage ministry, and if y'all wasn't, I promise you missed it. It was a great class, great meeting, great conversation, great social. That the Bible says that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. The Bible is very specific that it never calls the man a husband. That most men are not husbands. They are men. They are designed to be men. They have to learn to be a husband. You've been formed and shapen, and things have been instilled in you on how to be a wife. Now, if it was a good wife or not, that's up to that which formed you. But you know what a wife should be or could be. Most men don't know what a husband can be because we were taught, as they said in Coming to America, to go out and sow your royal oats. So we weren't designed for that. But I think that's a generational curse and a lack of exposure and teaching that we don't go back and tell the kids. It's like writing a bad check. You laugh about it, you talk about it, you communicate about it, but nobody goes back and tells you that they went and paid to get it right. You laugh about what you did back in the day, but nobody comes back and says, but I was crazy and you should never do that. So I think that's what causes divorce. And, when you got the right one, it changes your life. It gives you something to shout about, make you laugh when you want to cry. You understand this. Let me explain how important marriage is. People want to downplay it that are unhappy. But let me explain to you how important marriage really is. Marriage is so important that it's what God used to describe his love for us. Said he was coming back for his bride. We are his expecting mate. We are the ones that watch over the church as pastors, watch over the bride of Christ that's coming back for his church. And he doesn't want it with a spot or wrinkled. He does not expecting for it to be messed up or hurting. It's that marriage is so important that it's what God uses to describe his relationship with his people. Marriage is that important. So if we take it lightly because we're ready to do something, it's not. And that's what makes us fight, because we get married so we can have undefiled intimacy, when if that was all you were looking for, you've cheapened what God has made one most sacred and more powerful than most things in the entire world. I'm through. I'm sorry. I done got deep, and I'm really that is really sitting on my spirit, because I think that the generational curse of family divorce is that we don't teach each other the blowback from divorce. We don't teach our children how you got through a divorce. We just tell you, I don't like her, who you get now. But what do you tell them about the cost of the divorce, the cost of staying. Johnny Taylor said it one way, it's cheaper to keep her. But have you discussed the emotional weight that you carry from staying married or getting divorced? How have you communicated that to break those curses? Because sometimes you have to communicate those sad things to get people to see where you're trying to go and where you're trying to get them to go. That's it. Thank y'all for coming on for Bible Study Tonight, Tune Up Tuesday. Thank you so much. If you like it here, you want to be a part of what God is doing, you can text to join the ministry. And the information is on the screen. You can text to join to be a part of what we're doing right here at the church. You can text 833-489-7379. Text Join Victory to that number. You can be a part of what we are doing right here. It's on your screen. You can screenshot this and you will be able to keep it with you. Last but not least, you can give. Our offering is available. We have multiple ways that you can give to the ministry. You can text to give at 832-400-9544. You can text to give at that number, or you can give via Cash App at Everything Victory, $ Everything Victory. You can give on Cash App as well. Or you can see the other ways that we have on our website through our app. You can give through our app. You can give through text. You can give multiple ways. We're always here to be a part of what God is doing. I'm thankful for y'all, man. Y'all don't understand how much I love and appreciate you all for being a part of what we're doing, what God is doing, what God is pushing, ways that He's making, doors that He's opened. We are really excited about that. Please go to our website. On our website, go to 2 pages I want to push tonight is our give page, which you can be able to give online. I challenged everybody on Sunday to give $100 this week. You can give it any time this week in between last Sunday and Saturday night. I'm challenging everybody, every member of Victory, every champion, every visitor that comes in every week. I'm challenging you. Do that with us. Let us achieve what we've aimed to achieve. People have stepped in and did that. I thank you for it. Let's be diligent in that. I'm going to communicate that consistently throughout this week. We're asking everyone that can to sow a seed of $100 this week only. Then give whatever you feel free and feel led to give. But we're asking everyone that can and will above your tithe. If you have not given your tithe this week, please do that. If this is your week to tithe, please do that. Tomorrow we have our prayer, and on Thursday we have our leadership development class. I know it's a lot going on. I know Victory is taking up a lot, but I promise you it's worth it if you can give us the time. And you don't even have to drive out to meet us. We're right here in the same place at the same time every time we come together. We're on Facebook. Tomorrow night we will be on Zoom. Thank you so much for being a part. Thank you for the love. Thank you for your appreciation. Again, last thing. Thank you so much for those that have shot me text messages, sent me cash apps for Clergy Appreciation Month. As you all know, I didn't have a Pastor's Appreciation this year. It was supposed to have been in August. We just did my birthday celebration. I didn't really push it. I'm thankful for anything that we do as a ministry. Thank you so much. Y'all know I don't push me like that, but thank you so much for those that have given towards my Cash App, that have given, that have called or text and said, "Hey, Pastor, we love you." Just want to tell you that. Trust me, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for being a part. Love you all. See you all tomorrow at noon.
You know, sometimes you just got to be riding down the street and just start telling yourself, you know, say, I don't feel no way from tomorrow. ain't gonna leave. I know this country. What makes me up about people, they think just because they don't like you, that God's supposed to leave you. He ain't gonna leave. He won't do it. No. He ain't gonna leave. I know. He ain't gonna leave. That's real country. That's country, but it'll work in the day. All right, now that's it. Let's hold up now. Let's be careful with this. Because somebody could get healed with stuff going on like that. See, cancer could dry up in rooms like this.